This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Falling through the cracks. A longtime Nova Scotia volunteer firefighter battling cancer won't receive compensation.
The race is on. What Nova Scotia voters say are their key issues in this federal election campaign.
And the Cape Breton Eagles hope to soar in the Q League playoffs.
Snow, ice pellets, freezing rain, then clearing for Tuesday as temperatures rise. Your full forecast is coming up.
A longtime Halifax volunteer firefighter dealing with cancer says he falls through an insurance gap.
The Eastern Passage man doesn't qualify for workers' compensation or a private policy, and he says the city dropped the ball not protecting their volunteers. The CBC's Haley Ryan explains.
When Bruce Meselis was diagnosed with stage 4 bladder cancer, he says the news came without warning. As a longtime Halifax volunteer firefighter in Eastern Passage, he assumed he would be compensated. But Meselis falls in an insurance gap and won't get anything.
I was kind of shocked.
The Provincial Workers' Compensation Board does cover a long list of cancers for Nova Scotia firefighters, including bladder. But Halifax only began using WCB a few years ago, after Meselis retired from a 21-year career.
Well, they'll only take care of them if the municipalities that they are in are paying the money in.
Halifax had private insurance before then, but it only covered those diagnosed in active service.
They dropped the ball not protecting their volunteers, but I think the province dropped the ball because right here where the government is based, you've got the largest fire department. Somebody must have noticed at some point in time, geez, we should be getting money from these 1,200 volunteers. like the city should have been paying it.
The province did make it mandatory for municipalities to provide cancer coverage for volunteers 5 years ago. Meselis says any compensation would have made a big difference. His doctors have told him he has about 2 years to live.
There's stuff I would like to do before I go that I can't.
CBC asked Meselis local councillor Becky Kent whether she would explore a city-funded program to help volunteer firefighters in this gap.
My intellectual approach to things is to understand the full scope and see where those gaps are. So I would consider any good idea.
CBC asked to speak with Halifax's CAO about the insurance gap, but she declined the request.
I'm not thinking just for me. There's 1,200 people that were there at the start of amalgamation. There's got to be a bunch of them that are sick.
Haley Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
A resident of Upper Tantallon, a neighborhood that was evacuated during the 2023 wildfire, says proposed emergency exits are in the wrong spots. Hundreds of people were forced from their homes when a wildfire ignited in the area nearly 2 years ago. A staff report going to Halifax Regional Council on Tuesday presents 4 options for an emergency road connecting the Westwood Hills neighborhood to Highway 103. Currently, there's only one way in and one way out.
My initial reactions are disgust. I feel that HRM has ignored the needs of the community. The highlighted proposed options are the shortest, lowest cost options and still trap 2/3 of the community in behind Westwood Hills.
Horn says there should be an emergency exit at the furthest end of the subdivision, which could easily be connected by building a bridge on an existing trail to an old logging road. That would give evacuees access to 2 highways.
The federal election is underway, and on this first full day of campaigning, Liberal leader Mark Carney is making a stop in Halifax. Carney arrived late this afternoon for an event tonight. He is the first federal leader to campaign in the province this election.
There are 32 ridings across the 4 Atlantic provinces. Affordability and looming tariffs are among the key issues here in the region. The CBC's Brett Ruskin is tracking what voters are saying is important to them.
Here on the East Coast, Atlantic Canadians care about the types of things that most other Canadians do as well. Housing availability and affordability top of mind, perhaps, for voters as we begin this election campaign. Some of the fastest growing cities are here on the East Coast. Taking a look at Charlottetown, Moncton, Halifax here has been one of the fastest growing over the last couple of years. And so more people means more need for housing. It'll be interesting to see what types of promises federal leaders make to make housing more available, more affordable for voters here. Another topic of discussion could be defense spending. Here in Halifax, there's the Irving Shipbuilding Project that's been constructing the Arctic and offshore patrol ships, soon to be constructing the River-class destroyers. Those are going to be coming online in the 2030s and beyond. And so the most recent announcement around that project was the first $8 billion towards that River-class destroyer project. That's in Nova Scotia. Meanwhile, in New Brunswick, we have CFB Gagetown, the second largest military facility in the country, supporting lots of jobs in the Oromocto region and the Fredericton region. In Nova Scotia, once again, there's an important air base too, CFB Greenwood. That's going to be the future home of Canada's East Coast drone fleet. That's going to be a $2.5 billion project that comes online in the early 2030s as well. So a couple of the topics that are being discussed here as we head into this election campaign. Speaking of heading into it, we are looking at the polling that is being done, the public polling being aggregated by CBC's poll tracker. So you take a look 3 months ago, December 23rd versus March 23rd. December 23rd, the Liberals were polling around 27% of public support. That was behind the Conservatives at around 46%. But take a look at what's happened over the last 3 months. There has been a surge in support for the Liberal Party, jumping from 27% to 50%. Atlantic Canada now leading in the country in terms of Liberal support. That's come at the expense of support for the Conservatives and for the NDP. So that's a snapshot of what we're looking at here in Atlantic Canada as we begin this campaign. Brett Ruskin, CBC News, Halifax.
2 Liberal candidates in Cape Breton have announced where they will be running following a creation of a new federal riding. Mike Kellaway will be the party's candidate for the new riding of Sydney-Glace Bay, while another high-profile Liberal, Jaime Batiste, is going for the riding of Cape Breton, Canso, and Antigonish. Both men were vying for the same seat of Sydney-Glace Bay after changes to their current ridings, but in the end, Batiste says he decided to go in a different direction. Batiste will be up against former Nova Scotia Cabinet Minister Alan McMaster, who is running for the Conservatives.
Both the federal Liberals and the Conservatives have promised to remove the tolls on the Confederation Bridge. PEI Premier Rob Lance says both major federal parties have committed eliminating tolls on the bridge as well as the Wood Islands Ferry. Late last week, Lance said he had a verbal commitment from the federal government on the issue. And then on Monday, Lance posted on social media he'd received a letter from Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre pledging to do the same.
And now our first quick peek at the weather forecast. Here's Ryan Snoddon.
And it was a chilly start to the work week.
Yeah, it certainly was. Nice weekend, but that cool down as that front moved through Sunday, and that really set the stage for that chilly start, which sets the stage for some snow in the mix for Monday night, tracking in from west to east, and this push of snow on the leading edge of this warm front will drop a trace to as much as a couple of centimeters in most cases, could see as much as 5 up towards the Cobequid Mountains and Amherst. But a pretty quick change through ice pellets and some freezing rain over to rain. And we'll flash forward here to around 7 a.m. Tuesday morning. For the most part, that rain has ended. We'll look at some lingering showers, Cape Breton back towards the eastern parts of the mainland. And then we're going to look at a pretty pleasant Tuesday. Temperatures bumping up into the 6 to 10 range. We'll see some sunshine breaking through into the afternoon. And all in all, not a bad day with that chance for showers again clearing for the eastern half of the province into the afternoon. Could even see 11 and 12 degrees down into the south and west. We will be watching after this system moves out, that clear out as we said. Another system that's going to be in the mix for Wednesday night in through Thursday as this one approaches. That one will also have some snow in the mix on the back side of that system. We'll talk about it with your full weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Tom and Amos.
Lots to talk about. Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you, Ryan.
An all-party committee of the Nova Scotia Legislature has started the work to redraw the province's electoral map. Nova Scotia needs a new map because of a court ruling last fall. A Supreme Court of Nova Scotia judge ruled the failure of an Electoral Boundaries Commission to grant the Cape Breton community of Cheticamp special status as an Acadian riding in the 2019 was an unjustified breach of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms. A new commission will try to fix it. The committee will meet again next week to consider who might sit on that commission.
About 5,000 school support staff across Nova Scotia have accepted 8 separate tentative agreements averting a strike. After a series of negotiations with the province, QP says measures to address workplace violence and wage improvements to benefits and pensions were key factors in reaching the new contracts. The union says it also won improvements to health and safety language.
Residents of the historic African Nova Scotian community of Beachville are planning to work to revitalize the local cemetery after being awarded a grant from the Halifax Regional Municipality. The $10,000 grant has been awarded to the Beachville United Baptist Church under the Anti-Black Racism Grants program. The initiative is aimed at helping Black communities deal with systemic and historical challenges. The local cemetery dates back nearly 200 years and is a critical part of the community.
It will make a big difference. There's pride in having the cemetery looking properly and in making sure that the upkeep is what it should be, because the loved ones been here for years. Some of those tombstones in the front, if you look at them, they're very old. And it would be very, very important to our community that the gravesite is looking proper the way it should be looking.
The grant will also pay for research to help identify some of the unmarked graves.
Nova Scotians now have another non-stop service to Europe. WestJet will be offering direct flights from Halifax to Barcelona starting this summer. The service will be offered 4 times per week beginning June 27th until September 29th. WestJet now offers non-stop summer service to Barcelona, Amsterdam, Paris, London, Dublin, and Edinburgh.
All right, well, the Cape Breton Eagles will begin their first round of the Q-League playoff series against Baie-Comeau this week. It's a rematch from last year's semifinal matchup, which the Drakkar won.
As the CBC's Kyle Moore tells us, both Eagles fans and players are hoping for a different result this time around.
It was this overtime goal that ended a Cinderella playoff run for the Cape Breton Eagles last year, losing to the Baie-Comeau Drakkar 4-1 in the semifinals. It's a loss that still stings today.
We have a short memory from last year, what happened, and this year it's going to be our turn. It's going to be a different outcome, and we're ready.
He's got a clear path to the late shot. Go!
The two teams will meet again this postseason, this time in the first round.
We have that chip on our shoulder where last year we came close, but there's some stuff that we didn't do in that third round that we need to improve on. And I really believe that you always learn from failure.
The team was on the ice practicing on Monday. The first 2 games will be played in Baie-Comeau this weekend, an arena that has a reputation of being hard to play in.
So it's going to be a very tight and very physical playoff for first round. So I think we're built for that, and I bet on these guys at Christmas, and I still think that we bet on the right people.
The series will shift back to Sydney for games 3 and 4 on April 1st and 2nd. The team is hoping fans will be lined up here at the box office when tickets for those games go on sale on Tuesday morning.
We witnessed what happened last year with our fans, and we hope that it's going to be the same as last year.
Playoff tickets were hard to come by last year. The postseason run included 4 consecutive sellouts at Sydney's Centre 200.
We feel the fan support, and this place here is tough to play when it's jam-packed, and we expect the same thing. We want to make them proud. It hasn't changed since last year. We're proud to be Eagles.
For the players, it's about taking care of business on the ice and having another long playoff run.
We want to be back there. Like, we had something special. We know what it takes, and we'll do everything to get there.
The puck drops on the best of 7 series Friday night. Kyle Moore, CBC News, Sydney.
a fairly quiet scene over Halifax Harbour for now.
It's true. Lots of variety in the forecast, though, as Ryan was saying.
Yes, he'll be back next with the weather forecast. See you in a few.
It sort of feels like whatever you might fancy is in the weather forecast for the next few days, isn't it? Man, it's all over the place.
Yeah, well, you were talking messy, but then some good news on the other side.
Double digits Tuesday afternoon. So warming up quickly. And yeah, we will see any snow that falls overnight is going to be melting, A, in the rain, and then B, if there's any left, even with up in the higher terrain areas of the north, that's going to be melting in those mild temperatures on Tuesday afternoon. Still more chances for snow. We teased that earlier. Let's talk all about it. First, your current temperatures. And you can see it was, as Amy, you mentioned earlier, a chilly start to this work week. Right near the freezing mark for today. 2 degrees down through the south and west. 3 our hot spot in Truro right now. But we are indeed looking at that southerly flow that's going to be bumping our temperatures up overnight tonight, but will likely cool a couple of more degrees before that warm up occurs. And so as we look at the satellite and radar picture, there's the warm front coming in. Lots of clouds, and yes, the flakes are flying over western areas of the province already, and we're going to be watching that continuing to track in here as we move from west to east through this evening. And this really is where we'll see the bulk of the accumulation, is just right along that warm frontal boundary. Then we're into the warm pocket. We'll see those temperatures rise, and yeah, that's really going to be the story for the next couple of days. But things are going to stay active in this jet stream pattern, which is pretty west to east right now. We'll take a quick look. As you can see across North America, temperatures pretty warm across the U.S. South. We're kind of looking like it's spring from Vancouver through Alberta into Winnipeg and down towards southern Ontario right now. Some ebbs and flows, obviously, in those temperatures. Now, as we look at the snowfall outlook, this is for this afternoon, overnight, Tuesday morning to around lunchtime on Tuesday, when we could see the final flakes clearing away from Cape Breton. But boy, I mean, this is going to be a significant snow shot for southern New Brunswick and western PEI. Most of Nova Scotia, that pocket there is 10 to 20, by the way. We are looking at, for Nova Scotia, a trace to a couple of centimeters at the most. Higher terrain areas are our best chances of seeing near 2. And I think it's, Cobequid Pass back towards Amherst, where we could see upwards of 5 centimeters. Also maybe the northern parts of Cape Breton over the Highlands. Rainfall outlook by Tuesday afternoon, we're looking at 10 to 20 millimeters, except 5 to 10 millimeters in the northeast and into Cape Breton. So lots of rain on top of that snow. The winds are going to be pretty gusty tonight. We're going to be seeing those southeast winds initially gusting 50 to as much as 60 or 70 along parts of the coast. And lace wet winds will gust to 110. There is a lace wet wind warning in effect for the overnight. As we look into the outlook here, we've got that snow on the leading edge. Again, some ice pellets, some freezing rain, and then that change to rain. By the time we get to Tuesday morning, the bulk of the wet weather has departed. We'll see some lingering showers, Halifax and eastward through the wee morning hours, lingering to mid-morning for Cape Breton, and then that clear out at a mix of sun and cloud, developing clouds, as you can see here, likely dominating at times, but I do think we will see some solid sunny periods. 7 to 10 degrees across Cape Breton Island for Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures dropping to mid to late afternoon, though, in those southwest winds. 10 degrees through Antigonish, back towards Sherbrooke and the Eastern Shore. 8 to 10 degrees for most of Central. Bit cooler here. Amherst down towards Parsboro, Economy and Cobequid Bay. 6 to 10 degrees for western areas. We'll see pockets like Caledonia, and into the New Ross area, likely 10 to 12 degrees there. So, as I teased earlier, we've got another system approaching here for Wednesday night in through Thursday. Ahead of it, looking pretty good. Maybe a late day shower in through the south and west on Wednesday, a morning shower or flurry possible in through Cape Breton. And then this system comes in. It'll take us some time to cool down, but overnight into Thursday morning, the potential for some slushy accumulation here, especially over higher terrain areas. Not concerned about shovel-worthy snow here. But Thursday morning could be a bit of a slick commute as that system does take its time pulling away. So we'll be watching that for Thursday morning. Lingering showers and flurries also Friday into Saturday. It looks very spring-like over the next 7 days.
It sure does.
That's for sure. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Coming up, a political scientist shares his view of Nova Scotia's political landscape as the election gets underway. Monday was the first full day of campaigning for the upcoming federal election. Canadians will head to the polls on April 28th. And for a look at the political landscape here in Nova Scotia, I'm joined by Alex Marland, a political science professor at Acadia University. So I guess first off, what do you think the big issues are on the minds of Nova Scotians as this election gets underway?
You know, let's be honest. I mean, all everybody is talking about is Canada's relationship with the United States, and specifically our relationship with President Trump and tariffs. And so that's top of mind for most people. But I think once you start digging beneath the surface, there's a lot of other concerns going on. So the real question for me in this election campaign is, to what extent do we end up talking about Donald Trump and American politics versus talking about a lot of the things that are closer to us here at home?
Such as, I'm assuming, housing, the cost of living, items like that?
Absolutely. Taxation, healthcare, all sorts of things that are on people's minds that, frankly, were there before Mark Carney became prime minister, before a lot of the comments were coming out of the White House, and people were really frustrated with Justin Trudeau. So, you know, what we're still trying, you know, time will tell, right? I mean, is it going to be something that we're talking about Trump every day? Or are we going to be talking about more domestic policy issues? Talking about tariffs is important, but there's a lot of other things going on too.
Well, what do you make of the messaging from the leaders so far? Who has been the most effective?
Well, it's still early days. So, you know, I can say that, you know, usually what happens is the person who's calling the election is the one who's commanding the frame and trying to set the tone. I'm not exactly sure that Mark Carney was able to do that with anything particularly powerful or memorable or giving us an excellent reason for the election. He's still kind of finding his feet about becoming a sort of a powerful speaker. And, you know, to some extent, it was interesting, I found, when looking at Pierre Poilievre, some of the tactics that he's taking. He's spending a lot more time speaking French, for example. But, you know, again, lots of road ahead as the parties are all trying to figure out what messages are going to connect with voters.
All right, well, what are the Nova Scotia ridings you think will be the ones to watch?
Well, you know, in some ways, all of them, because all of a sudden now so much is in play. So any seat that was held by a Liberal MP going into things with at the start of this year, you could have said potentially would have been lost to the Conservatives and the NDP. Instead, now all of a sudden, Liberal MPs and Liberal candidates have all sorts of new life. And so there's an entire possibility that there will be a lot of Liberal seats, but equally things could go in another direction. So you could look at the ones that are up in Cape Breton, where you've got the change in electoral boundaries that are going to make a difference there. You could look at the fact that out in Kings East Hants, you've got Cody Blois, who's now appointed as a minister. Maybe that will give him a bit of a bump. Or in Halifax, where for quite a while it was looking like it was going to go NDP, and yet now all of a sudden the Liberals have a fighting chance.
Well, you mentioned Cape Breton, and at one point, two Cape Breton Liberals, Mike Kellaway and Jaime Batiste, were going for the same riding. And now Mr. Batiste will be against former Nova Scotia Cabinet Minister Alan McMaster, running for the Conservatives. Any thoughts on how the Liberals might have sorted that out?
I wouldn't be able to provide you with inside information. I'd have to talk to some people, and I haven't talked to people about that. But I can say that usually what ends up happening is you want to avoid division. You want to avoid in any political party any sort of conflict. And nomination contests can be intense battles. When two incumbents are seeking the nomination in one particular riding because of redistribution, that can really cause a lot of rifts. And so it's good for the Liberal Party that they were able to avoid that.
Now, the NDP were able to form the official opposition provincially here in Nova Scotia, but federally in this province, they don't seem to have the same traction. Why is that?
Because they don't have traction anywhere in the country. I was looking at public opinion polls lately, and it may surprise some viewers that the federal NDP of all the provinces is most popular right now in Alberta. I mean, that'll really tell you where things are for the federal NDP. They're getting completely squeezed out by this sort of sense of polarization. Either you vote Conservative or you vote Liberal. And not only that, but a lot of people who would normally vote NDP are feeling like they should maybe go over and support the Liberals, either to stop Donald Trump or to stop the Poilievre Conservatives. So again, it remains to be seen whether or not that will hold. There are a lot of people who are still trying to figure out how to vote.
Now, this is the shortest a campaign can be. What was the strategy there?
So I think the strategy was that Prime Minister Carney very much wanted to be able to capitalize on the momentum that he and the Liberal Party have been experiencing. So the longer that you have a campaign, of course, the longer you're going to get away from the time that you had this momentum. Momentum is everything in politics. And on top of that, frankly, Mark Carney's never held elected office. So it's to their advantage for voters to not see the possibility of him making some gaffes or some bumbles, and just to be able to get on with it and be able to have this image of somebody who's got sort of a quiet competence.
All right, lots to watch in the weeks ahead. Thank you for your expertise on this. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Coming up, writ drop. Federal party leaders make their pitch to voters as the snap election kicks off.
And Hudson's Bay liquidation. Thousands of employees are facing layoffs as the company shutters all but 6 stores. Welcome back. On the second day of the federal election campaign, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre unveiled his first major plank.
It's an income tax cut larger than the one announced yesterday by the Liberals. As the CBC's Olivia Stefanovich reports, it's not entirely clear how both parties plan to pay for their costly promises.
Right out of the gate, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre with a major campaign promise.
This is a tax cut that will put Canada first.
A pledge to shave the lowest personal income tax bracket from 15 to 12.75%.
These people behind me, they work hard every day. And yet, at the end of the month, they look at their pay stub and it's tax after tax after tax.
He can't pay for what he announced today.
Poilievre's plan one-ups a pitch made yesterday by the Liberals.
We have a balanced approach. He has a simple approach.
Who want to cut the lowest income tax bracket by 1 percentage point instead of just over 2 percentage points.
How the hell do you intend to do that?
The dueling promises fodder for criticism from political rivals.
Yeah, we need to give a tax break to the middle class, but let's give it just the middle class, not to millionaires. And their plan doesn't distinguish. And that, I think, is a massive problem. I think most Canadians would agree.
The tax reductions would indeed help the majority of Canadians, no matter how wealthy they are. Under the Liberal plan, the average worker would save a little more than $400 a year. Under the Conservative plan, that figure jumps to $900.
I don't think you want to let the election pass without telling people how you're going to get to these numbers.
Both proposals would be phased in. The estimated price tag, almost $6 billion a year for the Liberal tax cut, and up to $14 billion annually for the Conservatives.
We know that something has to give. We know there have to be cuts.
But the leaders aren't saying specifically what those cuts will be. So far, Poilievre says he will eliminate government waste and bureaucracy, while Carney says he will review federal spending programs. The fine details to be released later in the campaign when the parties put out their costed platforms. Olivia Stefanovic, CBC News, Ottawa.
CBC News is following all the major party leaders during the election campaign. The trade war with the U.S. was top of mind at the Liberal leaders event today. And as Ashley Burke reports, Mark Carney was talking tough in a Newfoundland town with a special significance in our relationship with America.
I'm with the Liberal campaign on the tarmac in Gander, Newfoundland. This airport is where Mark Carney is tapping into this town's history to try and persuade Canadians he's the best choice to help Canada in a time of crisis. Now, this town famously took in thousands of international travelers on 9/11 whose planes were diverted following the terrorist attacks on the U.S. Carney met with 2 local women who helped stranded passengers, including Americans, and said Canada showed up for the U.S.
We represent thousands in this district who stood up that day, and then hundreds of thousands of proud Canadians who realized that this is the right thing to do.
There's a great line from Come From Away when the mayor, Claude, says, "Tonight we honor what was lost, but we also commemorate what was found." In this crisis caused by the U.S. president and those who are enabling him, we lament a friendship lost, or at least a friendship strained. But we celebrate the Canadian strength we have reclaimed. And while in Gander, Canadians did extraordinary things for Americans when they needed it, now we need to do extraordinary things for ourselves.
Carney pitched that just like Gander helped others, his government is promising to help Canadians through this trade war, including using the money raised from counter tariffs to help workers impacted. Carney was also asked by media today what efforts he's made to try and speak with Donald Trump.
The president is waiting for the outcome of the election and see who has a strong mandate from Canadians, or who has a mandate from Canadians.
Carney said he's available for a call, but on Canada's terms as a sovereign country. His next stop is in Halifax as he continues to tour Atlantic Canada, where he's leading in the polls. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Gander, Newfoundland.
As we heard earlier, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre hit the campaign trail running, promising a deeper income tax cut than his opposing frontrunner. As Kate McKenna reports, Poilievre made the announcement in the seat-rich GTA, a region other parties have their eyes on.
Pierre Poilievre has been signaling for months that he plans to cut income tax if he's elected prime minister, and now we've seen his plan. The Conservatives say they will cut the rate of tax on the lowest tax bracket, which would save Canadians on average $900 per person. If he becomes prime minister, the cut will take full effect in 2027, and this is a larger cut than what Mark Carney proposed. It's set to cost $14 billion annually, and Pierre Poilievre was asked what he would cut to be able to afford a tax cut like that. He, of course, has been very critical of the Liberals over their handling of the public purse. He said he would look to cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid. These are answers that he frequently goes back to whenever he's asked what he would cut. It's unclear whether cutting those things would be enough to pay for this tax cut, as well as other things that he's proposing. But he says he's going to put out a costed platform during the campaign.
Canada First Conservatives will cut income taxes by 15% for the average worker. This is a tax cut for seniors who are drawing their pension or retirement income. They will pay, on average, 15% less. This is a tax cut for the workers behind me, who will pay 15% less on their income tax. This is a tax cut for the waitress, for the welder, for the barber.
This is a major announcement for Poilievre, and he's doing it in the Toronto region. In fact, he's spending the first 3 days of the campaign in the GTA. This is an area the Conservatives are hoping to make inroads in. There's more than 50 seats in this region, and most of them right now are held by Liberals. But polling indicates that this region is a neck-and-neck race between the Liberals and the Conservatives, and we can expect Pierre Poilievre to be back here often. Kate McKenna, CBC News, Mississauga, Ontario.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh hit the campaign trail in Montreal today. Singh announced his party's pledge to unlock public land to build rent-controlled homes. As the CBC's Marina von Stackelberg reports, with NDP poll numbers falling, Singh is looking to rebuild in a province where they hold just one seat.
Jagmeet Singh is fighting for the New Democrats' survival, and perhaps an ode to that, he took a few minutes to throw a few punches at an outdoor gym here in Montreal. That's also where he made his first policy announcement of this campaign. In an area of unused federal land surrounded by condos, he says this should be an area used for affordable housing. Now, this is a commitment that the Liberals have made previously. They have, in the previous government, set aside hundreds of hectares of land, about 90 properties, but Singh says all of it should be used for affordable housing.
You can see the land behind me. 4 years ago, we said this should be used to build affordable homes. Hasn't happened. But the other thing is, when you look at the Liberal plan, they're selling federal land to private developers, and most of the homes that are being built are unaffordable. That is not a plan that's going to actually deal with the crisis we're up against.
Now, Montreal is an important starting spot for the NDP. They are trying to pick up more seats here. Right now, the New Democrats only have one seat in this entire province here in Montreal, but they're hoping to gain a few more. One of those is a key riding, LaSalle-Amard-Verdun. It was a Liberal seat, but in a recent by-election, the Bloc Quebecois won it, but the NDP were a close second, and they're running the same candidate again.
Well, I'll tell you something. We had one heck of a campaign last time. I think we impressed a lot of people. The response on the doors is really great, actually. People they want to support me again. So we're going to fight hard. We're going to knock as many doors as we can.
Singh does not have any campaign stops planned for this afternoon because instead of flying, his bus will be driving down the 401 about 7 hours to its next event tonight in Toronto. Marina von Stackelberg, CBC News, Montreal.
The leader of the Bloc Quebecois launched his party's campaign in Quebec City. When asked about the income tax cuts now being promised by his Conservative and Liberal rivals, Yves-François Blanchet had this to say.
I don't have to compete with that, but let me say something. How the hell do you intend to do that? One of the parties says we will cut the expenses. Okay, is it the right time to cut the expenses when the moment is more appropriate to support enterprise companies and jobs? And the other party says we will cut expenses and we will cut taxes. There's no way on earth one can manage that.
Blanchet was speaking in front of the U.S. consulate in Quebec, where he also addressed the trade war with the Trump administration. He promised to introduce new legislation in the next parliament to force the federal government to offer contracts only to Canadian companies.
Elections Canada has announced some new measures to protect the integrity of this federal election. The measures come in the wake of past attempts to affect our democracy by foreign actors and through online misinformation. Alexandra Sibelman has the details from Ottawa.
I am confident that we will deliver a safe election.
Canada's chief electoral officer promising to keep a close eye on election security and outlining plans to fight online misinformation just weeks after the final report from the public inquiry into foreign interference.
It was clear that some electors felt intimidated in voting, and I thought it was important to remind electors in different languages through different mediums that the vote is secret.
Elections Canada says it's been in touch with social media companies such as X and TikTok, seeking their support to prevent interference. It's also launching ElectoFacts, a new online tool to list and debunk online misinformation related to the federal election, and promising to tell Canadians about any foreign interference incidents if they're deemed serious enough to affect the election results. But the threat remains, according to this expert.
I think the problem is that nothing's been done about that. Apart from a lot of talk and rhetoric, we still don't have a foreign agent registry, and we just have more amplified social media and more amplified algorithms and, rabbit holes that people go into.
Elections Canada's assurances come as Alberta's premier is facing questions about whether she asked the U.S. to take action that could impact the election here. In an interview last month with American media outlet Breitbart, Danielle Smith said since the U.S. tariff threat, support for the Liberals has increased.
So I would hope that we could put things on pause, is what I've told administration officials. Let's just put things on pause so we can get through an election.
Smith's office says any suggestion she asked the U.S. to intervene is offensive and false. When asked if Smith's remarks violate any election laws, a government official said this.
We can say that we're aware of Premier Smith's comments, but that they don't meet the definition of interference, and so we are not looking into them.
Elections Canada says it's closely watching for threats from foreign actors. It's working with security partners, including CSIS and the RCMP, to protect elections workers, voters, and polling places throughout the campaign. It's also encouraging people who see information about the election they believe is inaccurate or misleading to report it. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Ottawa.
And dates have been announced for two federal leaders' debates. The government commission that organizes the events says a French debate will be held on April the 16th, with an English debate on April 17th. Both will be held in Montreal. CBC Radio-Canada has been chosen to produce the debates. Longtime TVO journalist Steve Paikin will host the English language debate, and Radio-Canada's Patrice Roy will host the French language version.
When it comes to reaching voters, Canada's major party leaders are using different tactics. The CBC's Yvette Brend looks at what each are doing and how some Canadians are responding.
Mike Myers, what are you doing here?
In less than 24 hours, about 10 million people watched Mark Carney's newest ad, which featured a big assist from Mike Myers.
What are the two seasons in Toronto? Winter and construction. Wow, you really are Canadian.
The use of the Canadian celebrity seemingly part of the Liberal leader's strategy.
It's all invoking this idea that this is Team Canada.
As to whether it's hitting, those reviews are mixed.
Well, it's not genuine. I mean, it's important to me, but it's not genuine.
But Carney's not alone with his patriotic appeal.
So when Pierre says, it doesn't matter who you know or where you're from,
Pierre Poilievre has used Canada First as a rallying cry while also trying to highlight his family, his wife, the voice behind some of his ads.
His children know him in Francais, Espanol, and English as Papa.
So introducing himself and his family is a kind of a first family vibe, if you like, to show that this is a family like any other that has the same kind of concerns as Canadians.
Of course it's a tactic. It's not a bad one, obviously.
I worked for minimum wage to take care of my family when my dad was sick.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is also trying to deliver a personal touch.
I retie my turban at least once a day,
just to get
getting
it
in on a
fresh,
hot
get it a little
TikTok
snug.
trend.
Yeah, he
In what's
wants to
known as a
cut
Get
it
Ready With Me
from
video,
you.
Singh is
He wants to
hoping to
cut it
grab
from
the
seniors.
attention of young people.
See, for the
Already it's had more than
Conservatives,
4 million views.
They believe they can bring in the first-time voters into their fold, which is going to help that party grow.
But it's not enough to capture this potential voter.
It's embarrassed to say I never participated in an election, even though I hear sometimes they knock on my door.
While the campaign is only just beginning, in this short race, parties will have to get creative to find new ways to meet busy Canadians where they're at, even if that differs from person to person. Yvette Bren, CBC News, Vancouver.
Liquidation sales are happening at all but 6 Hudson's Bay locations across the country. This comes after the company filed for creditor protection earlier this month. An Ontario judge gave the company permission on Friday to begin liquidation at most of its stores. The remaining stores are split between the Greater Toronto Area and Quebec. The company blamed a number of factors, including financial struggles and a drop in foot traffic after the pandemic. A lawyer for the employees of Hudson Bay says more than 9,000 workers could be impacted. Stock markets in Canada and the U.S. rallied to start the week after reports that a new round of U.S. tariffs scheduled to take effect on April the 2nd might be narrower than first expected. Here's a look at where things closed as we head to break.
Whether you're just waking up or you're on your way to work, we're here bringing you compelling stories from across the province.
And keeping you up to date with the latest in news, weather, sports, and traffic.
I'm Portia Clark.
And I'm Matt Brand.
Join us for Information Morning for the Mainland, weekdays on CBC Radio.
All right, looking down the week to see what's going to be the best day of the week weather-wise. It's kind of a blur, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we're in that spring cycle though, right?
Yeah, you know, Tuesday afternoon will be right there. Wednesday looking pretty good as well. We kind of fall off a bit of a cliff temperature-wise toward the end of the week. But yeah, listen, it's still
Par
late
for the
March
course,
in the
yeah.
Maritimes. That's right. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. This one, we're going to zoom in on the northeast of the province, and a beautiful shot here from Ponquette. Have a look at this.
Isn't that nice? Lovely?
Rosemary Dorian, thank you so much for sharing this. Nice tranquil scene there. I believe that was Sunday morning, the sunrise. And again, Sunday was one of those days so mild in the morning, then that front came through and brought us all back to reality.
Filled it.
In a hurry.
In a hurry indeed. And that front, again, that cold air now in place behind the front is what sets the stage for the snow this evening. Snow, ice pellets, some freezing rain, but we pretty quickly change over to rain after a trace to a couple of centimeters. Most of the rain done by Tuesday morning. Some lingering showers and bands of rain possible for Cape Breton into the mid-morning time frame. And then we're watching that clear out into the afternoon. Temperatures, yeah, not too bad. 8 to 10 degrees in most cases. A couple of 11 and 12 degree temps likely on the board as well. A bit of a temperature drop into the afternoon as the winds will shift to westerly. So North Shore and into Cape Breton, most notably Inverness County, with an onshore wind developing there. So you folks will see your temperatures drop pretty quickly into the afternoon. Wednesday, similar story, nice temperature-wise, 8 to 12 degrees. We'll see some lingering showers into Wednesday morning for Cape Breton with a risk of a flurry in there. And then watching this system approaching for Wednesday night, some cold air at play here, some slushy snow likely, perhaps some accumulation. I think the big takeaway Thursday morning could be a bit of a slick commute.
Yeah, we got this. All right, thanks, Ryan. Well, we have some amazing video for you. It shows a very unlikely duo traveling together in New Zealand. The recently released video from the University of Auckland was actually shot in 2023, and it shows an octopus riding on the back of a shark.
Yeah, a research team was monitoring a feeding frenzy when they spotted a strange orange mass on a mako shark's head. But after a closer look, they realized it was a coiled octopus hitching a ride on the huge predator.
And of course, the nickname they gave it is Sharktopus. Sharktopus, rather. The university calls it one of the strangest things their marine scientists have ever seen.
I bet.
Can't say I've seen that before.
Yeah.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.